Basics means simplicity, and simplicity means Occam's razor. Here's the right way, here's the wrong way. Means it is what it is. It's irrefutable. It's clear cause and effect, causal agent and effect. Just like if someone tells you to get fucked, then it implies a certain thing, or it has a certain effect. It's gonna but it's also the way he says fuck you, or the way someone says I love you, or the way someone says anything. Not just the words, but depending on the waves, frequency, and energy of everything, from their inside world to their outside world, to your outside world, to your inside world. So cause and effect. Occam's razor. It is what it is. Irrefutable. Like why is my body rocking the way it is? Yeah, a little bit is because I'm adding to it. I'm adding to that movement. But there is an S curve. The wave. Because our body's 90% water, right? It's not just a rock, and there's many joints, and it has many synapses and transfer points. So the way the body's going to, and because of the geometry of the anatomy, the way that time field of gravity, that yin field, what's going to be possible within that vector of that of this field. So, and a field can, I think, have 4 basic modalities, like what would you call that? Field can have about four different modalities. Like the magnetic field, they'll have a kind of spiraling out to a point, so that's one modality. But another one is that it's spiraling out and the magnetic field is expanding. So it's going to have, depending on the two, what part of it you're looking at. Once you become aware of those how those meridians arrange themselves, then you can sink into a different part with your awareness. But there is an S. There is like an S kind of spiral, like a cobra snake kundalini energy coming up like that. But we're looking for a physical, we're looking for something that is not something that you are, that is not, you're not making it up. It's not something that you're imagining or visualizing, or it's just something that is there. I just relax into it, and then but it's in there. It's at every part of the breath, and every cycle of the, from here, a little bit more. I let go. I develop the balloon. I develop the balloon body like that. We have first it starts with our lungs, and then we have every single bronchiole that through which the gas diffuses in and out, and then all the bronchioles are aligned in a certain way, and then there's a large fascia membrane of white tissue, very, very thin, around that. And then around the whole lungs, there's another membrane that comes around. And then under the lungs, there's the diaphragm. There's one that comes that way, and then the one that goes that way. And then there's, and it looks kind of like the way the field lines would mediate out. Like if you would take a magnet and put it near a screen, then you will see field lines mediating out in a certain way. And if you would be able to take a kind of a electromagnetic photo of the body, we call that maybe a Kirlian, using Kirlian photography perhaps, or maybe a spectrum perhaps just before X-rays, or maybe infrared. You would be able to see these different parts of the energy field. But the center ones are like balloons, and then they start to go out, and it looks like the balloon finishes there, but actually that energy field continues and goes around that way. So just if you would look at the magnetic field around a magnet and how it mediates out, then the balloons that we're talking about are all the fascia sheaths, going over the muscle, and then it comes into a tendon, and then all of the white tissue there, it goes to the tendon. And now it has the properties on a physical level, on a kind of mechanical level. The properties of it are it's springy, okay? It's elastic, all right? And it has the tenacity of the quality of its elasticity. For example, if you look at a rubber band, okay, the quality of the, how springy it is. It's like bows. Different bows have different amount of pounds that you'll actually be pulling on when you're drawing the bow. And the more that you can, the more power that you can store and then bang, let go of, the better the tenacity of the fascia, right? Or of those structures. It's not limited to fascia, because the body is arranged in a geometric, fractal geometric way, which is dynamic. It's dynamic. It's not necessarily fixed. Well, certain physical organs, if you look at the fractal geometries of how the organs and the physical fascia and bones and muscles and everything mediates itself out, there's a physical component, a structure that will be more or less the same, and by aligning all of those structures in the right postures and the right stances, like I could do some stance training right here, kind of, I could find a good position to let the first two balloons expand, let all the fascia of the feet expand out, and then go a little bit lower, let the knees expand out and line over there, let the hips, I could sink even lower into it on that side, sink a little bit lower on that side, and find the point where that balloon expands. When all of the balloons start to expand, that range is what you're looking for, and what you need to train. You train that the elasticity of that certain range of movement of the body, and aligned in a certain way, and that will be different for everyone. You will feel that in your body. Don't necessarily try and copy what I do, or what your teacher's doing, or don't try to necessarily mimic it. Feel it within your body and let it and look for it within yourself. So that's pretty much where I'm at, and it's very important, of course, to be able to put it to the test somehow, so that I can get a sense of what can I actually do. Like I might feel in my own personal training as I'm sitting right here, I might feel really awesome. I might even be able to draw, smooth it out so much that I can draw on the charge which is coming through the air, and I can draw on that charge and charge up my fascia, and bang, discharge an electric discharge. Maybe I can do that here on my own, but what about if I would add another level to that training, I add another level. I want to become Lars 2.0. Okay, so how do I, what type of training, how do I necessarily need to apply that level? How do I put resistance on that, essentially, is the question. How do I so that means I need other people to train for. I need other people who are looking for my weakness and exposing it at the same time as I'm building up this thing, because it will get to a part where I'm a little bit weak, and then it will inflate, it will deflate, through a it could be a lot of things. It could be a psychological deficiency in something that you're not fully you're not fully confident enough, or you're not relaxed enough, or the heart mind. There may be a disharmony between the heart and mind. Like I'm at a certain point now. The only way for me to get beyond where I'm at now, I perhaps still have a slight heart mind disharmony, or but I feel the emergence of that pure level. I feel it starting to emerge now. I just have to let my mind go into that, and essentially that's the secret, okay, of Tai Chi. They tell you in Tai Chi you have to, the secret of Tai Chi, just make sure it's still, the secret of Tai Chi Chuan, okay, Tai meaning extreme, okay, Chi, or in English they may just say Tai Chi, but it's actually pronounced Tai Chi. Chi means a pole, okay, like North Pole or South Pole, okay, so it means extreme polarities, okay, or extreme polarization. What are the extremes of the polarization? What are the range of the polarization? And this is just a training method, essentially. This is the way our body can perceive reality and blend with reality, okay? So, yeah, it's a method, okay? Some people, they don't like to have some, there is a way in which the mind may not feel comfortable with there just being like this one-size-fits-all explanation of reality, and really there's not, because everything we just explained is all a fixed mental construct. We need fixed mental constructs to perceive reality and to be present, but there is something flowing between. There are fundamental forces flowing between those fixed mental constructs. Those are the ones we need to become aware of. Those are the ones we become aware of by developing the breath and opening the space between the thoughts, opening it up even more. So I smooth out the breathing, and I train the tenacity of all those elastic structures, but I train it and make it finer and finer and finer and finer. And thereby it develops even more tenacity, it develops even more springiness and ability to exchange that charge, okay, the electric charge. And I'm not sure, I don't know yet if it's just purely electrical, or if within that electric exchange of electricity, within the electric level, there is an exchange with an etheric level. So there may be even a way through that even deeper. Yeah, there may be. Did learn to become aware of that. Yeah, so, I also wanted to get into, mind prompting versus just more pure methods, okay? Because, mind prompting or trying to manifest something. So, the thing about it is really still a fixed mental construct. It may be on a very fine, almost quasi-manifest level. So maybe if you can have a very fine quasi-manifest thought form, that's just the potential for a thought, okay? The potential for the thought of this this fixed mental construct of this particular future, happening, or this particular person's, state getting better, improving, the pure life force energy, building up in them, the positive energy getting stronger, and then burning through the negative setback, or changing that person's frequency just somehow, or being introduced to some other thing somehow happening, and then that imbalance smoothing out, and then the more favorable conditions being restored. So we have to use the principle of Wu Wei, okay, meaning non-governing. Wu Wei means can be like non-governing, or not, no action, the unmanifest potential for, but that's even unmanifest potential is almost quasi-manifest, feels like. So, but even deeper than that is Wu, okay? Wu, emptiness. Or, I think there may be, in Japanese, they may call it Mu, I think. Mu. And then Chinese is Wu, or Wu. So it's not even It's almost not even emptiness, it's the potential for emptiness, the emptiness within the emptiness. So yeah, I guess if we try to manifest something, that's probably how it would be done. Or, you know, there's also mind prompting, which it's the same like you would prompt AI. You know, you would go, how about this situation, blah 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 blah, or what would be the way to go about, you know, what quality of mind would I need to have, would we need to have, what set of circumstances would need to arise in order for this particular other thing to unfold or happen. Yeah, we ask the question, and then we wait. We send out certain reverberations, which are a part of the space field. Okay, the S field, the magnetic divergence, the expression of energy, the loss of energy as it's being expressed and moving to from a center to the farthest reaches of the universe. You know, that's why, when there are those two forces. So that's why when you inhale, so there's basically there's two harmonic octaves. It's two harmonic octaves interlocking is what it is. Okay. There's on the very deep level, there's the 0 point energy, something like that, right? The 0 point energy, the lowest level of energy in our universe. There's still a little bit energy there, okay, and it's vibrating at an extremely fast. While there's different harmonics and octaves and things, but there are ones that vibrate at an extreme fast, and they have almost infinite tenacity. Okay, so infinite voltage. Okay, as you get closer to the center, it gets to an extreme fast vibration with an extreme, really infinite twang. Okay, voltage, elasticity, between it. So when we inhale, we try to follow the manifestation of that energy, that expansion of that energy outward, try and follow it with every part of the perimeter of the sacs. Okay, so it starts with the bronchioles and then the lungs, and then so first we're just using our lungs but it has to expand out. It has to find that and it's not really a some thing, it's a no thing. It's just a range where within which because I went into a couple other things there. Manifestation, which is, can be done, mind prompting, using the infinite of the mind. But it's still kind of using quasi thought forms, okay? Quasi that then have to be let go of. If you do it with a group of people, And you should only do this for positive things, okay? Don't misuse this. There's always repercussions for our actions. So, especially when I get to this level, I have to be like, there's like an iron wall between you and I, okay? There's no exchange of causality or exchange of karmic interference or something, I'm not responsible for your actions. This is the same way that if this method is done purely, then I have distinguished yin and yang very on this level, in this way, very clearly, okay? Here's my inside world, there's the outside world, there's your outside world, there's your inside world, okay? Yeah, we can have some exchanges between them. Let's say if you're in a relationship with someone, or maybe you work for a certain company, if there's some kind of exchange of karma, then be careful. Yeah, so really any mind prompt should always come back to your most important, be grounded in the most important mind prompt, okay? The most, that which grounds you in this dimension, that which keeps you from internally combusting, that which keeps you sane, that which keeps you healthy, that what keeps other people healthy. That mind prompt, okay, would be a good one to be grounded in. So any other mind prompt, it must be causally connected with that one. Having a causal relationship with being able to dissipate its causality, ground its causality in, this certain baseline fundamental reference frame of your existence. So, if I can fully let go into my T field, my time closure, breathe in, and then let go. Let go into my one. That's fully my I am. This I am. I am this T field closure. And you're your one. So if I fully let go into my one, you fully let go into your one, then our causal relationship, there will be basically like a kind of like a steel wall between us. There's nothing to worry about, but I'm aware of you, you're aware of me. That's very important, especially when you get up close and start doing martial arts techniques. Even if you want to make it more effective, I'm aware of this point of contact, you're aware of this point of contact. They're basically 2 point of contacts, okay? It's not one point of contact. For me, it's my one. For you, it's your one. For you, it's your point of contact. And I feel that, I move around it. I have my training method to get into it. You have your training method to get into it. With what respect to whatever martial arts training method or what type of sparring you're doing, whatever. But as soon as it becomes a life and death thing, if it's for real, like if you're really trying to kill me and I'm really trying to kill you, then then it's going to be a kind of relationship. Basically, it's very hard to keep the steel wall there if it becomes a relationship. So that's why even if you can develop some psionic, really powerful psionic capabilities, you most likely you would be able to kind of reach into their body and with your awareness, or kind of find a certain octave to coordinate, to harmonize with, and then probably squeeze off some of the arteries going to their brain, squeeze off, and then commit a pretty much kind of murder, psionic assassination, I guess. But then it becomes a karmic, relationship. Okay, and then there's going to be a karmic exchange. It's going to be, pretty serious consequences. Okay, there's going to be repercussions. So why would you? Knowing that, why would you do it? Why would you do it? Yeah, you basically, I don't know how you would do that without being fucked up. Or in some fucked up situation where you're being forced to do it, or whatever. So, and then if there are the people who are forcing you to do it, they're also going to bear a consequence, So yeah, I do think by necessity, these type of psychic assassination programs, they may exist, but the repercussions of what these people are doing are, is there going to be a way to mitigate that? I don't know. So yeah, I don't really want to be involved with that. I have no involvement with any of this, I don't want even 1 volt or 1 quantum or any, even 1 even anything being connected with anything of that. It will be siphoning off some of my consciousness that I could be allowing to charge up myself and using it to grow myself spiritually and reach the next level of goodness, okay, of something that is a higher vibration, better outcome for all of humanity. Congruent with God, so. But so the thing about being in a group of other people is that you can think about how do other people do things, or what is other people's what frequency are they vibrating on? How what kind of voice, you hear it in their voice and the pause between one word and the other, the transition from one thought form that's reverberating in a certain way to the other, and the feel of it, but just be aware of it. It's okay to. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking perhaps just be aware of it. I hope it's okay if I, observe what people are. This other person, wow, this person's has overcome all these hurdles and has, obviously has a certain, frame of mind or attitude to be in that works for them, or way of perceiving reality, or they're doing something that works for them, and that's made them very successful. The body has manifested a certain kind of strength. That's a certain connection with God, a certain relationship with God they have, or something's going on there. They're doing something like really well, and it's really worked out for them. So how can I change myself in a way that might work out in a good way for me too, So I guess that's, you got to be careful. But I think that's okay, because that means I'm just asking, okay, well, what would I need to do to become maybe as good as, to become, proficient at something like that first person became proficient at what they're doing. But I think even as soon as you start to say, I want to become like that person, then you kind of maybe develop a problematic karmic relationship. You open it, you mess with the space-time continuum in a slightly unfavorable way, perhaps, in a way that could have some maybe harmless. The repercussions could be harmless. So it's like, obviously human beings, a lot of us, we do want to party, we want to have fun, so yeah, the point is not to totally burst anyone's bubble and say, no, you have to achieve a state of complete, you have to become an ascetic, or you have to be, you can't laugh about, you can't have any emotion anymore, or you can't express a certain emotion, or you can't have a certain relationship with someone else, or you can't do a particular act that you got excited and wanted, but man, what would that be like? So it doesn't necessarily mean you absolutely can't do try anything. You probably can, but I guess we just have to consider what are the repercussions, or what with anything. We're not just talking about sex. I guess we're also talking about creating a certain, manifesting a certain thing, or engaging in a certain business venture with someone else, or deciding to meet with someone else. When you decide to meet with someone else, then you may be already, maybe not, but you opened up the potential for certain things to happen, for certain other, causality, for other timelines to kind of open up, other possibilities to rise. So I'm just interested in what is the most pure method for me, or for anyone to build their life force energy in the most efficient way for them, to build. I'm just purely interested in what is the best way for me to develop my mind and body, develop my body mind. What is the most congruent? If there is some other octave out there, some other beings out there, who are the most congruent to align with? I got a feeling it may be the Lyrans for me, the cat people from Epsilon Lyrae. But I don't know, man. I would like to, but I would be creating a thought form that it might not necessarily be real. Okay, it might just be my illusion. It could be just a complete illusion of my mind. That I just so yeah. What is the best way to just develop is just to think about oneself. What can I do to change? What changes can I make in my life? What changes can I make in my personality? Changes can I make in my lifestyle? What changes can I make in my mentality, or the way I react to certain things? But the more I think about it, the more I consider the training methods that I have done, and the ways that I have built energy, so far, what has worked to connect me deeper and make things better in a certain way. Yeah, it all just seems to come back to a very pure, a very pure source. Yeah, at the moment it's largely my heart center that I feel needs work on. My heart. Yeah, so it needs work. So I think it's good to be around other people that are also interested in improving. So different people might have a different suggestion. This maybe Lars can consider this particular thing, or Lars seems still a little bit stressed. Maybe he's got some this thing or that, this issue or that issue. How does he But I think one of the most important qualities of mind is the ability to have the ability of humility. Yeah, okay, I may have some things that works for me, right? Yeah, perhaps I do have a way. I have a way to become aware of some basic, some fundamental, process that if I immerse myself more into it, then, I can achieve certain outcomes. I can achieve changes. I can achieve certain changes. Let's say it like that. I can achieve certain changes. But I can only do what I can do at this particular level that I'm at. So it's quite possible that someone else has, they've been through certain experiences, or they've developed themselves in a way, they've developed a particular spectrum of the experience. I've developed them in a certain way that they've been able to do it, way better than me, and they can see my issue. Okay, so I have to always consider that possibility. The only way to be able to consider if someone has a critique, if someone critiques me in a certain way, or even if someone challenges me in a certain way, even if someone challenges me, then I have to consider, well, are they trying to put me in? Is it only because they're trying to put me in their place? They want me to be they want me to be in a certain. They see me as not beyond a certain rank, or that you have this role, and if you're trying to take on this other role, look, you're not ready for that. I have to let you know, Mr. Lars. I have to challenge you. Okay. We have to fight. And then I have to consider, should I perhaps yield? Or should I accept the challenge? I have to make that decision. But that's on a serious level, right? It's a serious level. But are there other levels to consider developing that if you just focus on this other thing, do things in this other way, actually you'll realize that the way you thought was you were actually exhausting a lot of mental energy preparing for a certain thing, or I'm gonna develop this fucking way, I'm gonna be really awesome in this way, but then you realize that there's this other way which you thought initially, that's just woo woo, or that's for girls, or that's too flowery, that's for hippies, but then when you went into that way, you realized, hang on a minute, this isn't just for hippies. This is actually developing some serious mind power that can even be used combatively, that can be used to make better strategic decisions, that can give you an advantage in certain ways. You may realize that the way to develop that is not even to focus on, is not even to have excessive attention. Like, you got to be aware of, you got to, right? Am I right? I have to ask the question. I can't commit to that thought form. I have to let it go. To be aware of it, but let go into my center. Yeah, so